Right, just making a new video on the targeted individual slash coercive persuasion program that is being used on innocent people in the United Kingdom and elsewhere around the world, especially in the Western world. I just want to make a new video because the targeting over the weekend so far has been extremely heavy. I mean, extremely heavy. Obviously, they are not happy with my latest videos. They're doing their best to try and silence me through coercive threats and basically trying to damage me psychologically and using threats of the police and other certain things to harass me with. So I got woke up last night by a multitude of sirens and what sounded like the police helicopter only a few feet above the ground. Now the noise was extreme. I couldn't see where this thing was. It must have been about 1 in the morning. But this helicopter, it was definitely the police helicopter because I recognised the sound because they've been using this to harass me with for the last 2 or 3 years. But yeah, the noise was extremely loud and it woke me up. So I went back to sleep, woke up, and nothing happens most of the day. I had to get some stuff from the shop. And there was a car with one brake light immediately there at the car park where I went into the shop, got my stuff. Then I start messaging this girl. As you know, they don't want me to see her for whatever reason. As soon as I get a message from her asking to meet up, police sirens all go off in the background, like immediately as the moment I stood up to look at the message because my phone was charging. I got all these police sirens going off. So, I checked the message and I arranged to meet up with her. So I go to the road, waiting for my bus, and I knew they would target me heavy. I was just expecting and waiting for it. And sure enough, they're glaring at me out of the cars. And then this guy turns up who's part of my targeting. He's one of two black guys who own a Rottweiler. He didn't have the dog this time, but he's walking on one hand in his pocket, and he's swinging some keys around. Now, I've targeted them with my keys because they've been doing it to me, so I've been targeting them with the keys. So this is just them trying to send whatever subliminal message with the keys, either saying we're going to break into your flat or we can break into your house, flat, which I know they've done. It's nothing new to me. I know because I've had things stolen in the past and I've come back to my flat with all the lights off and the lights have been on and certain items have disappeared. As soon as he goes by, we have a young girl who looks probably 16 or 17 years old. She walks past and she gets two of a pointing finger and a middle finger to do the English, basically fuck you symbol with two fingers, which I've been using to target them. And that she did it in exactly the same way I've been using it to target my perps. She, puts it to the side of her face and covers her mouth with it, which is what I've been doing to them. That's my, targeting symbol for them. So that's like them saying, fuck you too. So I just laugh and then she goes, and, I get on my bus. And away we go. We got the sirens. They send a paramedic past. All the bullshit, the usual shit that they do. Guys getting on the bus. I had a guy do like a slit throat gesture before he got on the bus. Like put his hand along his neck, looking at me. Another symbol they've constantly been doing today is touching their head. They'll see me and then they'll touch the top of their head, or they'll touch their nose. So yeah, I get on my bus and I have to get another bus to get to this girl's place. So get off my bus, get on the bus, And I get on the bus, and I'm on the top of the bus, and there's these girls, and then they get off. But then there's this couple in front, and there's this Asian girl and this white guy, you know. So that's them targeting me because this girl I'm seeing is Asian. You know what I mean? And they're kissing each other. And I noticed because there's a TI, I study them. I study my perpetrators. I noticed when they were kissing, not the guy but the girl, she was looking over her shoulder at me, like she was almost looking for a reaction. So I guess she was looking for a reaction where I'd be mad. So instead of doing that, I just target her. I start doing the two fingers over my mouth. I start touching my face, touching my nose, and all that. The kind of hand signals they do to me. You should have seen her reaction. She looked mad. I noticed that she looked pissed off, and she wouldn't look at me again. Yeah. And on the journey continuing, I seen this black guy outside of the bus. Yeah. And as soon as he sees me, he stares at me, and then he puts his hand over his head, like a wave. It was like a wave, but he put it over on his head, like I was saying they've been touching their head. He touched his head, but with his palm out. It's like who would touch the head with the palm out? You know what I mean? You touch your head, you touch it with it flat. So that was a very unusual hand signal. Another guy next to him glaring at me. So I get my bus, ignore the bullshit, and I get off the bus. So I see her, and they're sending constantly outside her. They had two cars pip as they drove past outside her house, and they were constantly sending cars with the muffler exhaust, where it goes, like that, the really loud muffler exhaust. They were constantly going back and forth outside her address. So after that, I guess because I've seen her, they're like, okay, we're going to target him. We're going to target James really bad. So, what do they do? I get on my bus, and they send the sirens. When I get down, the paramedics again, because that's what they like to target me with. So, I guess when I get off the bus, the real action starts. So I get off my bus, and I'm trying to remember now. They had well, I went up, and then I need to get some change because I'd lost my bus ticket. So I go in the shop, and immediately the security guard, as soon as he sees me, and I recognise this security guard, as soon as he sees me, touches his head. With the hand on the top of his head, just like the other perps were doing. As soon as he sees me, he lifts his hand and touches his head. So I get a drink and I go out. And he do the usual intimidation, like staring at me and usual bullshit. And I just ignore it and I go out. So I'm waiting for my bus, And oh yeah, and that's what I forgot. They were targeting me with this transsexual looking motherfucker on the bus as well. And when it's there to kind of target you. And there's this transsexual looking person on the bus. That was not on my journey back. That was on the journey there. So yeah, coming back, and I'm waiting for my bus, and I know they're gonna swarm. So I start getting the one headlight cars and all that kind of stuff and the sirens. But then, they get this guy to come up and stand next to me, and start doing the hand signals. So, I do my own targeting hand signals, and I get in his personal space. I go right behind him. And I could tell straight away he didn't like that. So he stops targeting me, and then he folds his arms in the kind of gesture where, because this is all psychological, and they're trying to send the subliminal message that basically a lot of times, my experience in this program, they try and treat you like they have ownership over you. That's what these people think. They've often compared me to their dog, or compare me to a child. So this guy is like folding his arms. So it's like saying, you shouldn't do that. So you know what? I target him even more because that's what I do. It's like I can tell when I'm getting to these motherfuckers because then they start doing the countermeasures. So I target them even more. And at that point, he can't even look at me. And then I get this woman who comes past, and she just looks at me with like a disapproving look, looks me up and down. So I'm like, fuck you too, bitch. I like said it straight to her face, you know what I mean? And before that, they had this guy, I guess, trying to intimidate me, walking past with one hand in this bag, like he's gonna do something, you know. So after that, let me think what happened after that. I don't think anything happened after that. But yeah, I could tell the perps aren't happy. They look annoyed because I know one thing they do with me is they'll have a perpetrator doing the targeting, and then it's like they have people watching. You have to remember that. So, I like to keep a blank face with my perps. I don't laugh. I don't get angry. I give them a blank face. You know what I mean? Sometimes I laugh like this. These motherfuckers are crazy. You know what I mean? I just like laugh at these motherfuckers. But, I get on my bus, and then I see this guy, and I target him again. I do my two fingers. Oh man, he did not like that. He just looked away. Like he couldn't look at me when I targeted him with that. I targeted him with that so bad. He could not look at me. And that makes me feel so happy when I target my perps back, and they can't take it. When I know I'm affecting them negatively when they're trying to affect me negatively, that makes me feel so happy. Like I was feeling really fed up before that, and it really cheered me up. So also I've been working on my positive neurolinguistic programming. If you're new to the targeting, ignore this, but if you're a TI, you'll know what I'm talking about. So, they've been targeting me heavily with the one headlight cars again. So every time I see a one headlight car, I think, you're half a person. That's what I think in my head, you know what I mean? Like, because it's one headlight. So I'm thinking, you're only half of a car. You're only half a person. You have only half a car light, so you must be half a person. And then I just laugh. I get a positive feeling when I do that. So that's every time I see a one headlight car, one brake light car, I'm constantly thinking you're only half a person. And when they're doing the one hand in pocket as well, which is something they use to target me, they'll walk up to me with one hand in their pocket. I'll think you're half a person. How pathetic. That's what I think in my head. You know what I mean? So yeah. You have to try these things, and trust me, they help. They're not going to stop all of the pain that the targeting causes, but it helps. It helps a lot. It picked my mood up doing this. So yeah, basically, they're trying to silence me using all the kinds of threats that they can muster. Threatening me with subliminal threats of being arrested. I was on the bus, and I could see in the train station they had police talking to someone outside a train. And also the other day they had the police when I was with my friends. So, they're trying to send the subliminal message that they're going to arrest me. Yeah, so, they do this kind of shit all the time, sending me subliminal threats, and yeah. So I respond with my own targeting back. But yeah, basically, coming home, and oh yeah, I forgot. Before I got on the bus, they deliberately I noticed this. It was kind of stopping and pausing the bus, but in a way that was making it look like an accident, so that I couldn't get on the bus. And I noticed when I got on the bus, the driver had like a smirk on his face. So this is how pathetic these people are. These are like children in adults' clothes. This is the kind of mentality these people have. A lot of them are very, very childish and very pathetic. It's like almost like playground pranks to these people. You know what I mean? That's the kind of mentality these motherfuckers have. You know what I mean? So yeah, and also notice on the bus coming back, they have another girl and well, young man and young woman kissing each other, and then kind of looking over the shoulder. So it's like the kissing frogs video I made. You know, you like kissing frogs, you ugly motherfuckers, man. Yuck. So you know, I just laugh when I see them doing this kind of shit. You know, I guess I'm supposed to be, you know, jealous or upset that the fact that they're in a relationship and I'm not. Wow, okay. You know, well at least I'm not pathetic enough to go around like I got a girlfriend, you know, well, you know, good for you, you know, but you know, I don't fancy going out with hookers, man. Because that's what you look like. You look like a bunch of skanks, you know. You're a bunch of bitch ass motherfuckers. Really are, man. It's like to do this kind of shit to a person who's really, really weak and pathetic. Oh, now we're gonna make noise, are we? We're gonna make noise. Soon, I've noticed this. As soon as I make my recording, the person next door to me will make noise, or the guy above me will start banging the ceiling. Like, seriously, man. These motherfuckers monitor you 24/7, man. Pathetic, innit? It's really pathetic, man. I guess they think they're the smartest people alive and that the shit don't stink. But you're not smart and your shit does stink, man. I forgot to mention as well, a lot of you look like weasels and associated rodents. Especially the guy targeting me at the bus stop. So maybe you can consider a facelift, but I guess that shit stems from your soul, so, you know, it's not going to make much difference, but... Yeah. Yeah, these motherfuckers are crazy, man, you know what I mean? The shit they do is really far out, but yeah, this is seriously going on. This is research coercive persuasion program, research COINTELPRO. If you knew and don't know a thing about targeting, research MK Ultra. That is M kicking K Ultra. Separate words, two separate words. Yeah, research all that kind of stuff, and you'll see how it links to this program. And this is a real program. I'm a victim of this. I've been experiencing knowingly, because I've probably been in this program longer than I realised, but knowingly since 2014 in this program. So 3 years going through this ongoing harassment, and also I believe I'm being hit by energy weapons. I've been experiencing pains in my stomach, pains in my chest, all kinds of ailments that I believe are from this kind of weapons being used. So yeah, I just want you to be aware that I'm not crazy. I've many videos showing what is happening to me. I've had people saying I need mental help. I don't know if you can hear that, but they're banging the ceiling because my perpetrators they've moved them in, or they've recruited my neighbours. So whenever I do things they don't like, they'll do a couple of things. They'll either bang on the ceiling, or they will, and it's not like boom, boom, boom. It's like they'll tap on the ceiling. You know what I mean? They'll tap on the ceiling, or they'll tap on the wall, or they'll turn the taps on at specific times. Like I'll go into the bathroom, have a shower, and then next door will turn the taps on. You know, when I'm in the bathroom. You know what I mean? That's the kind of sick stuff these inhumans do, because to me these people aren't human beings. They are below animals, because animals don't target me. So yeah. So yeah, I'm not gonna record this too much longer because it's gonna be a long video and gonna take a long time to upload. But I hope this gives you an idea of what is going on. I'm not crazy or mentally ill. I've not been like this all my life, going through this kind of stuff all my life. I've only been, and I can tell you exactly when it began and how it began. I can describe every method that is being used on me. As TIs, they will constantly try and discredit us with the comments on our YouTube saying, or elsewhere outside of YouTube, saying you're crazy, you need mental help, it's all in your head, but I know it's not in my head. That's why I've filmed it, and I've filmed my target, and I've explained what's being done. And many people have seen, just like with the moped perp videos, they've seen how I'm being harassed by people I don't know. I'm being harassed. The moped perp probably being the most blatant and obvious of the harassment techniques, such as setting his alarm off outside my window multiple times, making it beep multiple times outside my window. How many moped riders do you know with such an alarm like that? Because I don't know many. I'm not an expert, but I can tell you it's not really normal for them to be making that kind of noise. So, can you hear that noise there? And then making like touching the sink to make noise now. But yeah, it's the kind of stuff I deal with, man, on a daily basis. Because this shit doesn't stop. As a TI, you don't get a day's break from this. Unless you go to like the wilderness. And even then, they try and send the helicopters. They try and find you then, because I've done that. And they've sent like little spotter planes or helicopters to try and find me. If I have my phone on, they'll fly over me and shit like that. There's no real break from this harassment and psychological coercion, negative coercion and negative neurolinguistic programming attacks, and also directed energy attacks and use of classified and highly advanced surveillance technologies. But yeah, this shit is ongoing. We don't have privacy. We don't have any rights. We're treated like criminals, or worse, treated like subhuman beings by any authorities that we try to report this to. The same authorities participating in this harassment. So I want people to know what is going on, and that this is real. This is not me going insane. There are many people like me going through the same and reporting the exact same tactics being used on them. I mean, to the letter. If you search Nappyhead Roots on YouTube, you'll see he is also experiencing the one headlight harassment. If you search Nigel Nicholson, you will see he is experiencing the siren harassment. This is not a coincidence. This is not some random mad people that are, off the wall on drugs, or, having a mental breakdown. I can clearly explain. You can hear my voice. I'm not speaking at 1,000,000 miles an hour. I'm calm. I'm, explaining my targeting, explaining my experience in this program. You have to be careful as well, because there are a lot of fakes out there. I have to name Green Man as a fake. He was a fake TI. I cut him off. I blocked him from my channel. Also, Targeting Aberdeen has done the same. I've not announced this yet, but we were both targeted by him. And if you go on his YouTube, you also see that his videos claiming about his targeting are gone, which is very suspicious. I also have to say that that Vice documentary on the targeting, I would not recommend any TI or person trying to learn about this program to watch that. It is basically propaganda and does not explain the harassment very well that we are going through. It is just purely to make us look crazy. Because I can tell you, I can say that me and Targeting in Aberdeen were two of the first TIs really to be posting a lot of videos in the UK on YouTube, at least that I know of, on this subject. There was a couple of others, but I did not see, people posting videos of the perps, videos of their harassment like me and Targeting in Aberdeen were doing. And were we contacted for this Vice documentary? Fuck no. Nobody contacted us. So what does that tell you? That tells me it's fake and a psyops. So don't believe that Vice documentary is complete bullshit. Some of it's based on reality, but it's done in a way to make us look crazy. There are a lot of fake TIs out there on YouTube and elsewhere as well. So, yeah. And I would say that pretty much all the people interviewed in that Vice documentary are perpetrators. So, just a heads up. Just want to make that clear. Alright, I hope everyone is okay. Pardon me. I hope everyone is okay, so I just wanted to make that recording. Alright.